in Barovia and having to prioritise what their next quest is. Brayesis says she'd like to go get the stuff for Bildrath, as she's got a deal with him that she needs some arcane supplies from. So the group head off, heading west down Old Sullage Road to track down this lost gear near the river. Meanwhile, Heslant, a cleric who's been held up in town for a couple of weeks, says goodbye to Father Donovich and heads down into town from the church. He heads down to check on Mary, who's lost her daughter. And when wanders in to talk to her, she says that a group just came in and said that they would go rescue her daughter for her. After a few questions, Heslant realises that there's another group in town. There's another group in town. Do you know where they went? Mary says that she saw them heading west on Old Sullage Road. So Heslant quickly looks at the sky, gauges how much time he's got left till dark, takes a chance and runs on after them. A little bit ahead of Heslant, the group make it to the bridge over the river and start searching for the equipment that Bildrath asked them to get. They start with the far bank and work their way south, and on their way there they spot the gear back on the home side, so they double back around to try to get it. While moving around to collect all this adventurer's gear strewn out all over the ground, they notice there's a lot of loose dirt and large holes. Some creatures must be using this area to live in. It's at this point an egghead pops up and attacks. His tactics are hit and run, expose himself, bury himself back down the ground and burrow back up again and pop up somewhere else. And the group are moving around trying to attack it when a second one comes out. The group are holding their own, and it's at this stage where Heslant catches up with the group. He makes it to the bridge and searches up and down looking for which way the group might have gone and sees them on the home side further down to the south. He races down and joins in. After defeating the two Ankhegs, the group gather up the last of the adventuring equipment that they were sent to find, and Heslant introduces himself. Lads, am I glad I caught up with you. I heard that yous were in town and I came running to find yous. I'm so glad yous weren't too far ahead of me. Please, can I join your group? Now, our characters are a little weary, but they've got a long walk back to Barovia before it's dark, and so they decide to query Heslant about exactly why and wants to join the group. Who is he? In which case Heslant says, well, lads, I've been here for about 3-4 weeks now in Barovia. You see, I was part of another party. We were leaving Ymir and heading to Sembia when we were engulfed by this mist. We found ourselves in these strange lands. Anyway, we wandered about trying to find where we were going, and we came across this mansion with these two kids. Well, anyway, I don't know what the deal was there, but there were only 3 of us. And we lost Darren in there, and, well, I barely crawled out of the place with Simone, and we never quite got that high. I think it was Simone who must have carried me back to town, as I was out at that stage. I woke up at Father Donovich's church, and once I regained my composure, the father told me that Simone hadn't have made it. She'd passed. He did everything he could, and I blame myself for not being more ready to defend or to heal, but I was too far gone to do either. Please, I need a way out of this town. I'd just about given up hope. Well, the group take this in and think potentially a healer could come in handy. This holy man was preaching the word of Thor, and he seemed like he would be a worthy member to join their party. The group head back to town and make it to the tavern. Once there, they all decide to enjoy some drinks and celebrate their win. It was just on dark, so Bildrath's would have been closed, so they'll deal with that in the morning. But they decide to have a few drinks enjoy the fact that they've just made a new comrade, and celebrate into the evening. During the night, Ymir noticed that Dax wasn't his normal self, and inquires, "Why, Dax, you haven't been eating much or enjoying the food. You've just been sitting there drinking. Are you not yourself?" No, guys, Dax says, "I'm just, this place has really got me down, man. First of all, I just want to say thanks, team. You got me out of a sticky situation, but I kind of feel like I get out of the pot and now I'm in the fire. I might just, hang around here, eh? You know, just keep my ear to the ground, and, if you guys figure out how to get out of this place, please, come let us know, but I just don't think I don't think I can keep going on like this. I might just stay here in Barovia." Well, the group aren't happy, but they toast to his health, and they continue drinking. During the celebrations that night, the group also learned that the latest wine deliveries haven't been coming in for a little while now, and the tavern stocks are quite low. Wine is quite precious to these people, as it's an escape from the dreariness of Barovia. And they do ask that if it's all available to them, could they please, if they're passing that way, find out what's going on. The group agree to this, and just before going to bed, Ymir also gets a silver sword back off Dax, as he's got more use for it now if Dax is going to be laying low. That night, the group have the most wonderful of dreams. Beautiful, engaging, everything they've wanted them to be are very different from what they're currently experiencing in Barovia. Everything comes in shades of pinks and hues of wonderful colours. There's scents and smells, and they're so vivid. The characters all thoroughly enjoy themselves and wake up feeling very refreshed, but hungry, and hungry for pie. Genji and Dax particularly wake up needing some pie and help themselves to it for breakfast. The group then head down, out of the tavern, and off to Bildrath's. Bildrath is happy to get his supplies back and offers his discount. He also hands over some of the arcane items that Brayesis needs to cast spells. But they're going to require a brazier, and Heslant says there are some up at the church. The group head up to the church so that Brayesis can cast her spell, and upon arrival, see that the front doors have heavy scratch marks driven into them. They head on in, they meet Father Donovich, and he's a little unsure about helping a devilish woman like Brayesis.
"Oh, please, Father. You do not understand. There is nothing evil going on here. I just wish to summon my familiar. Please, won't you let me do that,
Father Donovich isn't happy about this, but says, "You can do it outside. This place cannot be unsanctified." And so the group take the brazier out and allow Brayesis the time to cast her ritual to summon a familiar. While this is going on, Ymir asks Father Donovich,
"Father, would you be able to tell us why there is so much damage to this church, those claw marks?"
"About a year ago, a man came to Barovia. He had a lot of magical power, and he rallied the people of Barovia to storm the castle."
Father Donovich, a large, overweight man, dabs his forehead with a cloth.
"The fight went for quite some time, and we saw lightning all across the skies, but nothing more was heard, and we lost so many."
At the conclusion of the ritual, Brayesis had finished summoning her familiar, and the group were ready to go down and make their next move, which they thought it'd be best to now go down and talk with Ismark and meet Ireena and find out what their plea is. And with that, they head down to the Burgomaster's mansion, where we'll pick up from there next time.